What are the differences between this AFCON and the 2021 AFCON? Well, I think the problem is they are basically carbon copies of each other at a macro level and more of a micro level. Ghana managed to get a whole extra point this time, which, who knows, maybe the difference between qualifying for round of 16 and not. But yeah, very similar, right? There's a lack of long-term planning, overall being kind of a macro issue that contributes to these negative performances. You can see that in the coaching appointments. Chris Hughton inheriting from the more possession-orientated, proactive Otto Addo. Milo inheriting from the more possession-orientated, progressive CK Akonor. The sort of structural issues that caused in terms of players transitioning from that more possession-orientated, proactive style to very conservative defensive structures and the resultant lack of cohesion that we saw in both tournaments. Ghana couldn't attack basically in either, which is alarming given some of the attacking quality that they do have. But that's about lack of planning, not picking coaches who sort of naturally succeed one another, and that overall lack of a kind of a national playing style that players are familiar with in terms of coming through youth teams, for example. That's not there. You see the same on-field product as a result. The other thing is just the lack of squad balance, repeated in both. Definitely messing around at the bottom of the squads. The last AFCON squad, I think 11 of the 30 came back for this one, showing just like what a ridiculous squad that was. Really lacking in balance, lacking the ability to change games, particularly get more offensive, lacking attacking quality off the bench. And then you look now to AFCON 2023 and it's the same. Kind of an overload of defensive, conservative profiles and a massive lack of kind of really good creative profiles, although they do exist. An inability to change the flow of games as a result of that. Ghana they could get more defensive as games wore on, but they certainly couldn't get more proactive really as games wore on. And that sort of manifests potentially in that lack of intent that we saw because the players weren't there, but it's the same issues, right? It's lack of balance in the squads, lack of certain profiles, no target man, no creative sort of inside advanced playmakery winger types, but lack of dribblery winger types who can kind of really consistently win 1v1. A lack of progressive midfielders that we're all aware of, no right wing back, etc. So yeah, and then no plan Bs. But what you say after AFCON 2021, you could literally copy and paste it, talk about it in AFCON 2023 as well. And that's why this is a longer term issue, and this is about no plan at the top, and I guess sort of laziness, arrogance, complacency at the top of Ghanaian football that leads to these issues repeating themselves across multiple tournaments. It's a real shame.